Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into the interview. Jenny, are you with me?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. And am I coming in clear for you?
Very clear, yes.
Okay, good to hear. I just want to let everybody know out there, I actually met Jenny at a Ron Paul table event out in Old Town, Pasadena. Some Ron Paul supporters got together, was waving some signs, and she was out there getting signatures for her candidacy. And now she has got all the signatures she needs, I think more than enough, and she has told me she's going to be at the top of the ballot here in LA County. Now, is that correct, Jenny? Am I saying that right?
That is correct. That's what I hear, that the Secretary of State has a drawing to decide the order of the candidates, and apparently my name came out at the top, so that's pretty exciting.
Well, that's
For whatever
perfect
it's
because
worth.
Ron Paul supporters should be at the top anyways. You should be by yourself. Now, I was hoping you could kind of tell our listeners about yourself, like how you came across Ron Paul or how he changed you and what caused you like to want to run for office.
I came across Ron Paul in the last presidential election. I was uh, looking through YouTube videos and kind of feeling on my own about how I felt about things and the direction of the country.
Uh-huh.
And then I kept coming across all these videos about Ron Paul on YouTube. And then I started reading the comments and finding out about Ron Paul meetups. So I checked it out, and I walked into this office on Wilshire, and suddenly there were all these people there that felt the same way I did, and it just kind of felt like I'd found my family,
Yeah,
away
exactly.
from my
My family
family. It
too.
was just an amazing feeling, and everybody had that same experience. So we campaigned really hard for Ron Paul. We had a sort of an independent call center where we called all over the country for every caucus and primary state, talking to people and finding out that there's more and more people across the country that felt the way we did. And it really was, it really changed my life because it gave me a mission that I hadn't ever known that I was going to have.
And
Um,
when did you decide that you were going to go ahead and take the chance to run for office?
well, I thought about it for 2010. I sort of did a lot of preparation, and then for some personal reasons, I postponed it for another 2 years.
Okay.
But yeah, after doing all that campaigning for Ron Paul, I realized that okay, he's an amazing inspiration, but he cannot do it on his own. He needs other
Exactly.
people there to back him up. And I had spent 6 years on the board of Screen Actors Guild, so that was a very educational experience, and I learned a lot about how a body that governs, rules, and regulates things operates. So I
So
thought,
basically,
okay,
just Ron Paul just opened up your eyes like he did to me. It's like he just takes your
exactly.
eyelids and pulls it up, and it's like, you see, I'm trying to show you what they don't want to show you. I'm trying to tell you what they don't want to tell you. And you remember, you and me had a long conversation over at the sign-in booth, so that was great. Now let me ask you, to remind everybody, in case they're in the Los Angeles area, now what district is it again that you're running in?
It is the 28th district. It's kind of right in the middle of Los Angeles County. It encompasses Hollywood, West Hollywood, Glendale, Burbank, portions of LA like Silver Lake. It goes all the way up to
In
Sunland,
Pasadena?
Pasadena, La Crescenta, La Cañada, Flint Ridge.
And these
So
are very populated areas. There's a lot of Ron Paul supporters supposed to be in these areas. So if anybody's listening, yeah, we got a Ron Paul supporter running for our district. That's great. I remember you telling me you were in my district, and I wish I could have had a Ron Paul supporter in my district back in Virginia. So when is the election date? So people know, when is that coming up?
the primary is June 5th, and it's an open primary. So I know there's a lot of decline to states in this district. There's like over 28% decline to states. But in this primary, it doesn't matter because it's an open primary, so you can vote for any candidate, regardless of whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or if you've just opted out of that whole system and decided to be declined to state. You can still vote for myself.
As long as you're registered to vote, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. And I'm curious, do you know if there's any other Ron Paul candidates that are running against you?
No, there's the incumbent Democrat who's been there for 10 years,
Okay.
and then there's three other Democrats and 2 Republicans, but they're definitely not Ron Paul supporters.
Well, they're definitely not going to get my vote then. So we need a lot of Ron Paul supporters running everywhere. I just found out there's another one, I think, in Missouri running, trying to get a hold of one, I think, in Maryland. So it's great. And I remember telling you that hopefully one day you can show me the ropes, because one day I was thinking about it too. Might have to go to another district, though, now that you're going to hold it down here. Now, I wanted to ask you about this. Since we're in California, and anybody who lives in California, this is probably a deal for them. What is your stance on medical marijuana, and what do you think about the feds that are coming into our counties and they're shutting down certain marijuana clinics?
Well, I think it's outrageous that they have no business doing this. They really don't have any constitutional backing to even do this, because there's no amendment to the Constitution banning marijuana. And the whole point of the Constitution is that it's supposed to limit the power of federal government. So they really have no legal basis to continue to come in and deny people the use of something that is just a harmless plant. Not just harmless, but has many, many medicinal values that they're continuing to discover.
Exactly.
And
I met a lady that told me that her son has what is it, ADHD. She said that marijuana is the only thing that worked for him, that calmed him down. Everything else didn't work. Everything else that doctors gave him. So you're completely right about that.
yeah, they're even finding in new research that it has anti-cancer properties, that it kills bad cancer cells and leaves good cells alone. So the fact that we're being denied this is really just due to that. Our people in Congress take so much money from the pharmaceutical industry, and here's something that could replace a lot of those dangerous pharmaceuticals with a safe, organic, plant-based drug, and so it's just too much competition.
Exactly. They want people to keep buying cigarettes, keep buying alcohol, keep buying their depression drugs that you might pass out and not wake up in the morning. And actually talking about that, I had another question I want to ask you. Kind of pertains to the same thing. Talking about health freedoms. Now, I saw on your blog that you had written about a situation. I don't think I was here at that time in Venice, California, that happened to Rawsome Foods. Is that correct?
Yes.
They got raided. I was curious. Can you tell our listeners what happened there, and also, speak towards health freedoms in California?
Yes. This was a collective of people that wanted to be able to purchase raw dairy products. So it wasn't even operating as a business. It was just a small group of people that had decided they wanted to have these products, and Rawsome supplied it for them. Well, it was subject to a multi-agency raid last year, and the 65-year-old owner has been held in jail ever since under very harsh conditions, and all this for just providing people with a healthy product that they voluntarily want to consume. So these kind of attacks on our freedoms, I just find completely outrageous. I mean, the federal government coming in and telling you what you can eat and drink and medicate yourself with.
Okay, well, that's a cue right there. We're about to go to a break, so just hold on the line, Jenny, and we'll be right back, okay? All right. Worman, she's running for the House of Representatives here in Los Angeles, District 28th. Election is on June 5th. Again, Jenny Worman. You there, Jenny?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I want to try to jump in. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I also just want to let your listeners know that there is another Ron Paul candidate in District 33, and that's Chris David. And he is the only Ron Paul candidate there. And also for U.S. Senate, you can vote for Rick Williams, who will be on the ballot running against Dianne Feinstein, a big Ron Paul supporter. So.
Oh, well, we need to try to get in contact with them and get them on the show then. I want to get all the Ron Paul supporters that are running.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put you in touch with them.
Great. Now, I want to try to ask a couple more questions here. Touch on foreign policy. With our troops spread out around the world, is there any country that you believe our troops should be in, or should we just bring all of our troops home and also home from the bases that we have?
I think we should bring all the troops